Welcome back, YouTube. As you can see, I'm showing off the balloon there. So this was a little bit of work yesterday and today, and there's a whole bunch of random stuff kind of compiled into this one video. There's a lot of different things going on, finishing up the tanks and then trying to move on to future things. And this is a little bit of all of those. There's also a couple of new tools that I bought. I'm going to show off here in just a little bit in this video, and got a mail delivery in the middle of the day today, so went ahead and did an unboxing so you could see what it was, including something I bought for you guys. So anyhow, getting started with this, that is the right fuel tank, and I am mixing up some sealant to try round 3 of fixing the leaks in the tank. They're getting better, but still not good enough. Meanwhile, you see the left tank back there. That was, well, this was a full day of it holding air, and then by today, I finally got around to taking that balloon off, and it held air for 2 full days, so the left tank's good to go. Anyhow, mixed up some sealant, thinned it out with some toluene like you'd seen me do before, and it's leaking the top corner of the rear baffle. So on the one side, I thought about taking the inspection plate out, but it was going to be more of a pain than it was worth, so I took the 2 rivets out on the end there, spread it apart, thinned out some sealant, spread it in there, and then riveted it. And then I had that one rivet you see me replacing right there that was leaking. I got some sealant in the hole as best I could, and then I went ahead and capped the back side of the rivet to make sure. So now the other side of the top edge of that baffle where it's leaking, I spread some sealant on the outside of it just like I did this one, but now I'm taking this tube that you see, and I have a bunch of these tubes. I filled it with some thinned out sealant. I'm using the camera there to go ahead and see the corner that I need to get it into, and then I'm just blowing some air slowly through the tube to push the sealant down and into that corner on the inside of the tank. Hopefully it's thin enough and I got it far enough in the corner. Won't know until tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to try and leak check the tank again, but hopefully I finally got this thing sealed up. Alright, let me turn the air off so you guys can hear me. We're going to turn it off briefly. It's going to get too warm in here without it. Maybe we're going to turn it off. There we go. Okay. A couple new items like I mentioned the other day. I'm sure voiceover Tim has already talked about the sealing of this tank. We'll see how that works out. And yeah. But a couple other things that showed up. Next up is going to be starting to finalize all of the dimpling, deburring, and all of that good stuff for the wing skins, and then it's time to start riveting the top wing skins on. To do that, something Van's recommended and I've seen on a couple other channels is to back rivet. This way you end up with a really nice finish on the top skins, which are going to be more visible than the bottom. So what I got from Cleveland Tool is their back riveting bucking bar and their long 12-inch offset, double offset back riveting tool. So this will go in the rivet gun. I'll be able to reach in from the back side of the wing and get on each of the rivets, and then somebody on the other side will hold that up against the rivet on the skin. It should make for a much nicer finish. Hopefully it'll be a little easier to do too. It's still going to take 2 people, so I'll need help with that. And then when it comes time for the bottom skin, no way around that. It's just going to be bucking bar on one hand up inside the wing and rivet gun on the other side. So definitely going to need help here soon to start getting the rest of this done. But that's what's coming up next. I foresee that it's going to take me a long time to dimple and deburr all of those holes and get all of those ready. I also need to, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the outboard skins overlap the inboard skins, and you need to file right there to create what's called a scarf joint to make those skins lay flat and not be so evident where they overlap. I don't know if I'll bother with the bottom, but I'll do it on the top because it'll be visible. So yeah, that's later on. Anyhow, on to the left tank. This was 2 days of holding air. So happy with that. I wish the right tank would have been that easy. Live and learn though. If you're just now watching this and you're getting ready to build these tanks yourself, go watch my left tank video on what I did extra to the rear baffle, and do that. Absolutely no leaks. Much better than the other method. So left tank's done. Went ahead and got it put up on the wing so it's out of the way for now. Momentary pause to put some new stickers on the water bottle because, you know, stickers make everything better. And back to work. So, waiting for something to come in the mail, decided I'd go ahead and start on these skins because they all need to be worked. They're all final size, but they need to be deburred. They need to be dimpled. That scarf joint that I mentioned needs to be dealt with. So, fair amount of work to be done on all of the skins. So I figured I'd start on this one. The outboard overlaps the inboard, so it's a good place to start. It's also a thinner skin than the inboard. It's actually a little scary how thin it is. And on with the deburring of the holes. You'll see a fair amount of it, but I'm going to spare you. You're not going to have to watch me deburr every single one of these holes. You've seen me do it plenty of times. I've done it plenty of times. We all know it takes a while. Pulled the workbench away from the wall. So eventually when I put the C-frame up there to dimple the interior holes, I'll be able to keep most of the sheet on the bench. Anyhow, I got a momentary distraction. I was trying to look at the scarf joint on the left wing because I had the left tank up there, and I realized I wasn't getting two things. I wasn't getting the skin to sit down nice and flush. I had to deal with the dimpled holes a little bit better, or the machine countersunk holes. And I also realized there are 2 rivet holes that hold the top edge of those ribs to the spar, and the topmost hole is covered by the tank when it's there. So those rivets I should have put in already. Thankfully I saw it and caught it, so I went ahead and put those in. And now I'm putting the tank back on and just bolting it down, which thought I was going to leave it there, and then I realized I need to take that other leading edge back off again for something that's coming up. We'll see what happens with that. Anyhow, here's the unboxing. This is the stuff I bought for you guys, technically. New full-size tripod for the camera and a swivel mount for the GoPro to sit on it. So now, instead of sitting on a little tiny like 12-inch tripod that I have to find things to stick it on, I should be able to get better angles and move you all around the shop and get better views, I hope. Now on to the other thing I was waiting for. And this one's a little scary. Something I wasn't thinking about doing, but decided to go ahead and do it. Yep, those are lenses for the leading edge lights. I have placed my order for all of the lights for the airplane through Fly LEDs, although they pronounce it Fly LEDs. It's an Australian company. After back and forth emails with them, I decided that I would probably be a lot happier with the leading edge mounted lights. So those have been ordered along with my nav lights, strobes, belly beacon, the whole works. I might have mentioned it before, but they're coming. So to get them mounted in the wings, I bought this kit, this install kit from Duckworks. And I should have got the 4-inch hole version because it would made up perfectly with the
tail dragger max lights that I've got coming to go in there, but I didn't. But I've got a way to make the hole myself, so saved a little bit of money and I'll get it put in eventually. But the problem I have, and you see me going through that box and the paperwork, is they sent me 2 hardware kits, they sent me 2 lenses, but they only sent me one of those brackets. So went ahead and called them and emailed them, waiting to get a response now. Hopefully get that fixed sooner than later so I can get these things installed. It is a little bit scary, thinking about cutting those holes in the leading edge, but now is as good a time as any to do it. You can see in the background I've got that orange conduit just kind of sitting in the wing right now. I was just making sure the lengths I bought were good enough, but those are going to have to get run at some point. One of them is going to carry power for things like the lights and pitot heat and all of that, and the other one's going to carry signal wires for comm stuff so I don't have interference. So I want to get all of this stuff done before the wings are closed out. Anyhow, I've got everything cleaned off. Before I dimple the holes, I need to go ahead and deal with that scarf joint. I went with approximately 3 inches, I think. I figured that was probably good enough. And I'm just filing down the thickness of that corner. I believe I went down, this is a 0.25 thickness sheet, I went down to like 0.20. The other one's thicker, so I'll probably take a little bit more off of that. But this corner is going to overlap another corner on that other sheet. And the idea is if you take a little thickness off of both of them, when they overlap, it's not so noticeable where it butts up against the tank skin. So I just used the Vixen file, took off most of it with that, and then used the little Scotch-Brite wheel to clean it all up. It went pretty quick. It wasn't too bad. But had to get that done before dimpling the holes. I suppose I should have probably test fitted it all and make sure that the thickness is what I want, but this is a for show step, not a critical mandatory step. I could not do it at all and it would be fine and probably not very noticeable except by those who know to look for it. I may not even bother with it on the bottom. Now just running around dimpling the rest of the holes that I can reach with the hand squeezer there. And then I'm going to do the same to the ribs on the skeleton and the rear spar. So probably finish this up in the morning, do leak check on that other fuel tank. Hopefully it will be done. And then I might pause on the skins so I can take those leading edges off. I do have, even without that bracket, I have enough stuff to cut the holes in the leading edges and mark where the brackets are going to go and get those dealt with. So I'll probably get started on that so it's all ready to go. I don't expect to get the FlyLEDs kits in until probably after I get back from my next trip. Once I do get it in, it's all got to be soldered together. I'll dedicate an entire video to that. Anybody that wants to see how it's all done and how it goes together, it'll just be a full session sitting on the workbench putting everything together. So hope you all made it this far. This is probably all the work I'm going to get done for today. Going to go try and relax for a little while and pick it up tomorrow sometime and just see how far I get. I've got another full week and a weekend before I go out again on a trip, so hopefully I make some good progress. Anyhow, stick around, like and subscribe if you haven't. Leave me some comments below, and I will see you all on the next one.